Good morning.
Everybody open their videos. Those who have joined and settled down, we interact. In the absence of video, we are feeling disconnected. Lost here. Read out somebody the last question. Good morning, everybody. Am I visible, audible over there?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What was the last question?
Was Bruno a loving and faithful pet? Why then did he have to be sent away?
Okay. How was the problem? Next.
Morning, sir.
How was the problem of what? How was the problem of what to do with Bruno? How was the problem of what to do with Bruno finally solved? Answer. Bruno was sent to a Jew. Bruno was sent to a Jew because he could not be kept. He could not be kept in the house anymore due to his growth. Full stop. But in the Jew, he was fretting, Fretting. He was fretting and was not eating food and was not eating food properly. He was becoming weak. He was becoming weak. Full stop. Then the narrator drove his wife to the Jew. Then the narrator drove his wife to the Jew and she fed Bruno, FED, past tense of feed. She fed Bruno with a lot of food and drink. Full stop. She understood that Bruno would not be all right in the Jew. And requested the Jew authority to give him back to her. The narrator and his wife created a special island for him where subsequently he was doing well. Where subsequently he was doing well. In the presence of the family. Almost may not. Keep it for the reference. There are some grammar related things that you guys can do it. Give me a book. I may give some introduction on Kathmandu today.
Yes.
And on Monday, I'll be resuming it. Let me see what is it we get there. Okay. Everybody has brought the book.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, also left something. A simple traveling sort of a thing. Okay, take out a short poem there today. Completing it because it will be slumber in my spirit. Thing. Okay, see, this is a very heart-touching poem, and though very short. Two poets in English literature are known to write about the second one. You will be studying about those small poems in standard 10. One you have already read about, Robert Frost. An American poet who is known to write the very small verses. Verses is another word for poem. Verse means poem. But giving the ocean deep meaning.
So what you have written after William?
William Wordsworth, take out your book here. It is, keep the book also before you. William Wordsworth is the composer of this poem. A slumber did my spirit seal. Okay. Seal is here somewhere captured. Stamp is also seal, but here controlling and capturing. Control and slumber is deep sleep. Actually, another synonym for the sleep is slumber. And technically, when we talk about deep sleep, we are actually meaning it that, which is the ultimate reality of life. This is the ultimate truth. Many poets of Romantic age and the Victorian age have written many poems related to death. The birth is uncertain, but what has been born will be dying someday, that is for sure. Okay, so it is very powerful, because here in the sense of emotions we have been talking about, if scientifically it is a natural process. Living things normally born, grow and perish. But this perish is the another word for what? Perish means to finish, to destroy. So this is a very simple word, simple meaning, but it's very, very heartbreaking. And the power, there is one another poem especially been dedicated to that was Death Be Not Proud. The name of the poem it is. All we have been trying to connect it with this one. It has been written by John Donne. No issue. Okay, but then must know that in context I have written. So you see as the name, you can feel very proud. You have every power to destroy the entire existence. You have the power bit by bit, day by day, sacrificing many pleasures, sacrificing many comforts. We have been weaving our life like that of a skilled weaver. Weaver, as the weavers weaves the clothes, we have also been doing like that when we are weaving our life day by day, bit by bit, adding each and every minutest detail into that one in order to make our life successful. On the way, we are sacrificing many things. On the way, we are meeting many things. We have been somewhere swimming into the ocean of the sorrow as well as of happiness. When we meet somebody and something, we have been feeling ecstatic. Ecstasy is what? Ecstasy is extreme happiness, extreme pleasure. Or happiness. And opposite is also true. When we depart from somebody, that is completely sorrowful, very pathetic, very sad. But then here comes in, these are all the philosophies of life, here comes in the idea of hope. When we meet something, meeting and parting are part and parcel of life. Okay, because the last time you see somewhere written there, which is diurnal course of the life, rolled around in Earth's diurnal course. Okay, in that poem written. So this is one of the very accepted philosophy of life, is that meeting and parting. Or rather meetings and partings means departure, are part and parcel of life. Whom you have met today will bound to depart someday. But lying in hope, say as a friend. You have been meeting today, sitting together, chatting and everything. After I stand at 10, there will be a stopover in your life. For the timing, stopover of what? That school life normally comes to an end, and you have been starting for the higher education, where who are the close friend of yours might be departed. Okay, but the hope lies in that someday you may meet again. But this particular word, this particular thing, whatever you may call it, okay, this is making the departure permanent. After that, all the hopes vanish, and that is very painful. About this William Wordsworth, is the board visible there properly? The student sitting at home.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
William Wordsworth. About William Wordsworth, let me throw light something on the poet first. Alongside William Shakespeare, William Wordsworth was one of the master poet of English literature. Okay, these two names are, one is William Shakespeare, perhaps there was one poem of Shakespeare also, perhaps. Yes. Fear no more. Okay. So this William Wordsworth, he is been known for the nature poet. He has written many poems related to the nature. Okay. Have you ever read any of his poem in the past?
Yes.
Daffodils. Okay. Very famous poem.
6, 7,
Another poem was a very famous poem, the Lucy poem. Okay. And the Lucy is said to be by the many critics and the followers and the scholars of English literature that she was perhaps the beloved of the poet. Perhaps we don't know. Okay. Second, in some of her poem, if you go by this one, this poem, it's a very beautiful and heart-touching emotional poem. She's a small girl, as if that is a small girl projected in the poem. Where the writer is, there is another poem called A Melancholy Soldier. Melancholy is another sad. Okay. There is another poem called The Solitary Reaper. तुम लोग का था नहीं शायद. So all these poems were very in this one. A girl, the poet, met in the morning. After some point of time in the evening, she was been found dead. And it was all that meeting was very pleasurably described in the poem. He felt a deep sense of attachment with that girl. And while he was been traveling to meet the girl, who was been living on the other side of the mountain in a small village, which was lying on the side of the mountain, it was he traveled on a very difficult path, endured many things. But by the time the sun was almost set or about to set, that is, you may say, the period just before dusk and sunset, he anyhow when went there, he found that the girl was dead. Okay. And this is what the underlying philosophy of life also. Normally, when you have been desiring for anything in your life, that you consider is an ultimate thing in your life. Without it, you are unable to survive. For that one, we are been doing, this is what the lessons can also be learned. Okay. Say anything, you want to meet somebody, you want to have somebody in your life. Okay. For that one, you are been doing many positive things, negative things also. Okay, in the context of this poem, suppose I want to marry a person. Okay, now for that one, I had fallen in love with somebody and I want to marry that person in my life. I want to have that person in my life, that lady, that girl in my life. Two ways are there. One is at any cost, I will have to have it. That is what a sort of bond of love had taught us. Love is nothing called the ownership. It is somewhere the ownership, though reflected in that one. You may be feeling more comfortable and relaxed as per that particular story, where the Bruno, when departed, that was also the love. That departure was not for any mishappenings with the Bruno. It was all with what? For the safety and protection of Bruno, but none of them were been doing well into their respective areas, Bruno in the Jew and the wife in the house, unless both of them were not once again been brought together. This bringing together is good, is love, but as per the philosophical ideas of some philosophers, love is not always about having something or getting everything. Okay, it is all about giving everything, not getting everything. So inspirations that we have been talking about, I want to become big, I want to become such a grand person, such a great person, not grand person. I will achieve many things in my life and finally I will have that one. Once you got that, okay, the things would start saturating. This is still the bond of relationship. That is, once that particular feeling is converting into the relationship, the intensity of getting something will slow down ultimately. You just can understand this with that of the, when you are feeling very thirsty, very, very thirsty. Just put yourself into a situation that you are feeling very thirsty and there is no water around you. You will be going to any length. You will be trying every possible steps that is under your command and control in order to get that water. For that one, the water for during that period, from when you have been wanting for water or when you are in want of water, and when the water is not available, this particular period is absolutely invaluable period in your life. But once you have been getting that one, you will quench the thirst, that it will somewhere depreciate. The importance of water depreciates in your life. Okay. So if you are not getting, you will be feeling even more sad, you will be feeling even more bad. But once getting, and that is the dwindle nature of human being. The more you want something for, they have been trying everything. You could have seen many engineers, doctors, this, that, everybody. People have been working hard day in and day out in order to become a civil servant and IS officer. Go and meet some IS officer. After becoming, they would be somewhere, yeah, this is a job, very burdensome. This is, though they are enjoying their duty, but the type of do or die situation that at any cost I will have to crack that one. It is something very magical. It is something very great. Without it, it cannot be anything in the life. It has been earning you the name, fame, money, prestige, power, dignity, fine, everything it has been earned. But then after getting that one, you see, go and meet there personally, you will be finding that importance is somewhere will slow down into their life. Okay. So this is one of the many underlying philosophies. The moment you have been getting something in its totality and completion, you may start somewhere detaching the importance to that something. But true thing does not do like that. And this is a normal thing that we have talked about all the human beings' life. It's all artificial, not natural. Natural thing is what? Birth. Natural thing is death. Now you see the journey between the birth and death is what you call a life. There are two types of the people. One who is living the life, another who is passing the life. Whether you are living and passing is your choice. Even if you are passing your life, you have been because you have been granted some breath which is fixed by that Almighty or the nature, whatever you may call it. It's a type of a certain amount of the breath allotted to you. Once you have been living your entire things to the last drop, then once life is over. That is fine. Now, how can you make this life valuable? Is up to you. In order to make it valuable, you are sacrificing many things. You are laboring very hard. You have fixed your target. You have preferred to depart from your near and dear ones. As in one story we had studied about that Santosh Jadhav. Okay. So all these successful person stories, when you go through, you see in order to reach to the pinnacle of glory. Pinnacle is the highest point of anything is called pinnacle. Top, apex. Highest point of anything. So in order to reach to the pinnacle of highest point, in order to reach to the pinnacle of glory, as in the case of Santosh Yadav we had studied, she had done a lot of things. She did a lot rather. And finally, she had scaled over the Mount Everest and she became a famous one. Martina Navratilova. Another one was, Maria Sharapova. Okay. She had also more or less the same story we had studied. Okay. But see this death. Once the death would come, it will wash away all your endeavors. Finish. Isn't it sounding very insensitive? इतना मेहनत से इतना अपना जीवन बनाए इतना सब चीज किए तो माया मार के खत्म कर दिया finished and you have been feeling very proud stating that we not proud उसका लक्ष्य है here happened that a deep sleep came and my spirit was completely been sealed, captured, seized. Okay, talking about that, this is somewhere you see a slumber did my spirit see. You see, the poem is about the death of a loved one. Even there, this loved one was none, but supposedly you cannot say that she was there, but because if you go through the most of the poems of William Wordsworth, this invisible girl is been somewhere felt. You cannot see her, but you can feel her presence in almost every line of this William Wordsworth. Okay, as such, the critics and many scholars are of the opinion that she was very dear to her. Somebody says that no, she was an imaginary character, and she was finding a figure into the most of his poems. Okay, but then we are not going into that debate. One thing is for sure that she was being very, very lovable to him. Okay. And once your loved one is been departed by the cruel stroke of destiny, that is what we have been using for that sometimes. How much cruel it is. That is called death. In your life, you think that there is somebody in your life without whom you cannot survive. No, even if sometimes out of the dream you can feel about, or in your dream also, if you see the death of that person, whosoever you have been loving the most, whosoever are the indispensable in your life, inseparable is indispensable, must write all the words in order to write English word. Indispensable. That is inseparable. If you think that there are somebody without whom I cannot do anything, even that one, if in dream also, which is called nightmare, okay, in that nightmare also, if you have seen the departure of that person or the death of that person, you literally can shout and cry out of your sleep. You may come out of your bed sometime, okay. So you can't even want to imagine, but someday you have to face that reality. And in that day, on that day, it sounds like that everything is in the life for you has been stopped forever. Even your soul has died. It is all finished. I was been feeling very enthusiastic. Spirit is the soul, Atma. It is otherwise the body is nothing. Once it is somewhere metamorphically we have been understanding what that this Atma, that spirit, that soul, if coming out of the body is dead. After that, nothing else. Okay, it is all made up of the 5 major elements that we have been calling it, and they have been mixing into the different. That is air, water, or soil. These are all 5 panch tattva jisko kehte hain. Okay, they have been getting merged into that one. It's nothing but just all a soil. Coming out of the soil, made up of the soil and mixing into the soil. These are metamorphical philosophical thought related to the body. The energy, the aspect, the value of the body is as long as the soul is there. Sometimes metaphorically, once again, we have been telling what that, even if you are a human being, you are surviving human being, you are breathing human being, but if your soul is dead, you are a dead human being. You become insensitive. Insensitive person's soul is dead. That is soul by sometimes we are understanding by the sensitivity, the emotion. So everything is that I am deeply connected to you. It means that deeply is what that is soulfully. Sometimes you have been calling somebody as your soulmate. Have you read this word or heard this word? Soulmate. Partners in the life are called soulmate. Now this classmate, mate means partners, friend. Okay. So this soulmate is also going to depart someday. Can you believe this one? This death, who has never met you in your life so far. Everybody has met. Life met to you, prosperity met you, sorrow met you. These are all the elements that you come across when you have been making your life or when you have been traveling through the journey of your life. But end point is that. Isn't it very ironical? We have been growing day by day, we are preserving day by day, we are saving day by day, we are trying day by day for what? To die someday. Okay. This is just shocking. This is a shocking discovery, but that is a very an accepted reality. It's the harsh truth, but that is a truth. Okay. So this poem is about that departure of that loved one. How does the poet feel when he thinks about her death? You see, her word, she word has been coming. Okay. So that she may be, that is what we have. I have given you the explanation beforehand. That is, she is almost in every poem of his. You may come across this invisible sea. Who is that invisible sea? Maybe a debatable point. But because somewhere there is one poem he has written, Lucy poem, so that is why we may assume that Lucy was an integral part of his life. Okay. And on over. But then this time in 10:20, no? 5 minutes 60. Okay, no issue. I've just given the introduction today. On Monday, I will be continuing this first. So it's a small poem, but underlying philosophy. And give you the question and then go on to the Kathmandu. That is only a travelogue, nothing else. Okay, thank you.
Thank